Howdy folks, welcome to this episode of Vern's Misadventures. Well, I got my setup just about the way I want it over here in this corner, so there's only one thing left to do. Let's cut it all up and move it to another room. Okay, so my middle daughter has Down syndrome, and she's been staying with my mother-in-law for several years. They share an apartment, and they both get Social Security, and it works out well because neither one of them can afford their own place with their own money. But together they could have their own place and a little bit of autonomy, that sort of thing. But my mother-in-law is getting on in years. She's 82 now, and it's come to our attention that she needs a little more help with daily life, and so we're going to move them in here. And so, that's going to necessitate moving this desk out of here. To which I said, snap-a-doo. And you may or may not be able to tell that we're in the other room now. We have headed out west, about 60 feet. There's a cabinet. Look at there. There's my slipper, right? Looks like Vern just doesn't pick his stuff up, which I suppose has been true a time or two. But this actually serves a purpose. How about that? Doesn't destroy the desk just by leaving your slipper in the way. We'll have to come up with a better solution for that at some point. But for now, it does prevent some damage. So I got the desk cut down, and I didn't record it because truth is I completely expected that to be a shit show. And it did not come out nearly as bad as I feared. Not quite as good as I had hoped. So, the original bracing under the corner desk had to come out, of course. And I cut off the edges on both sides like we talked about earlier. Right? So now it's just a straight desk that goes up against the wall. I also had to cut off the back. And so I made, since none of the existing bracing or the rear legs for the corner desk were long enough to span the gap between the two sides here, from that side and that side, I went ahead and I had one little 1x4 remnant that actually was long enough, so I cut it down and put it in there. And well, needless to say, it's just, it's a little wobbly. So what are some possible solutions? More bracing, obviously that could work. Thing is, I don't have too much depth, so I really don't want to put, I don't have too much depth to work with, so I really don't want to put anything towards the middle to bang my knees on. So I came up with this solution here. Inside this cabinet, you just got these little slide out trays. And I got miscellaneous things, USB drives, some CDs. Yeah, I'm still using CDs. So anyway, if we bolt the cabinet to the desk over here, it won't require as much bracing. And I can just bolt through here, and then that would basically come out over here. I'd like to leave the nut side of the bolt in the cabinet so that I don't have threads and nuts in it. Well, I'll still have the bolt head, but I won't have the threads. Any risk of jabbing my knee with them. And then another thing that's left to do here is, let's see, there's my little hidden power strip I've got here hides behind that trim piece. And so obviously that needs to be plugged in still. And I've got my little surge protector down here. And the next thing, see, that needs to get mounted on the back side of this board right here. So that's a little project we can work on. So basically, if I could bolt these two together, then that would, basically if that could be held together, that would take all of the wobble out of this table. And this leg's purpose will just be to hold up this end over here. I think that will work. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do any sort of abuse to it, but I think it'll stand up pretty well to that. But I think before I do that, I will do the cable management part of this mess here. So that just entails making a template for the little holes in the back of the power strip. It's on the back of the power strip. You got these holes here. And it's like a little cross. And what that'll allow you to do is you just put a little screw in right here. Put a little screw in right here. And then when you lower it down, it locks in. And it's pretty simple to do. I've done it. I did it on the other desk, or on the earlier incarnation of this desk, I should say. Mount this power strip up here out of sight. That would clean up immensely the wiring back here. So here's a bonus. I get to hang out with my little partners without having to bring them into the office and let them run crazy. So that's kind of nice. So I suppose the first thing to do is to make a template for our power strip and get it mounted to that board on the back. So I have just 2 pieces of printer paper. One piece is not long enough, so I'm going to tape it together. So that'll be our first step. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm on top of the tape, and I'm going to trace around it. That's good enough. Alrighty, and then we'll just come around this side, and that is a fair enough representation of what this thing looks like. So from there, you can just go ahead and snip it out. Let's go ahead and snip it out. The deal again. Now if you got a brand new one, I think it comes with a template. I haven't bought one in a while, but I'm pretty sure mine came with one once upon a time. And so we can just take this, we just tape it in place to make sure it won't move. Alright. We could just kind of, knowing where it is, maybe I can just kind of get the edges. Alright, then we can just get the utility knife, kind of cut it out a little bit. Oh, I think that gets the gist of it anyway. Alright, so we put the screw in the middle of that cross there on the template. Now we should be good to go. We'll just clean it up and we peel it off of there and clean it up a little bit. Alright, I think that gets the idea across. Cool, so we can use this same tape and give her the old heave-ho. Cool, I think that will actually suffice. We can come a little bit more. Doesn't cost you anything. Alrighty, so this is the cord side of our template. If we put it, yeah, it gets a little crowded with this smaller disc. No doubt. Get it up as high as I can, that way it can drop down into the slots and not be seen. Alright, template's in place. That, we'll just go ahead and punch a couple little holes. this. In place. How about that? For now, I think that's all I want to do as far as this goes. So I guess we can get them lined up now. It's just a matter of mashing down the carpet, I think. We got all these monitors way at the back. I think it's tipping the desk. No big deal. Just gotta put some more weight up here. Counter it. Get it nice and even, and then we can bolt it down. So if you look underneath here, we got one cord that shows at this time. Well, two. But we can tuck them both back behind the cabinet. But we'll worry about that after we get everything back where it belongs, because I think some things are going to move around a little bit. So the file cabinet's heavier than the desk, at least in the front. Now with the water on there, the carpet's not fighting me so much, and I think I can get these bolted together. They're pretty much even now. Also, while I was redoing the cable management in the back, I was able to get these monitor arms swung around differently, and routed the cables a little differently too, coming out of them. So I cleaned that up a little bit. I can see where I need to do a little tucking on that left monitor. We'll deal with that later. Next thing would be to go ahead and get us at least a pilot hole. The problem I'm going to have is I think if I get a drill bit that's big enough to make the holes I need for my bolts. I've got 5/16 nuts and bolts here. I'm not going to have enough room inside that little cabinet there for the length of the drill bit, so I'm going to use this little one, go from the inside where I want the bolts at to protrude, then I'll know where to drill from the other side where I do have the length or the room, you know. So let us do this. Take this one out, set it aside, give myself a little more room to work. I think we'll just come in under that rail. No need to wonder if that worked. Okay. Alright, with that, we'll move these out so we don't get quite as much shavings and whatnot. Then get in there with the vacuum, clean that up when we're done.
Where do you want your coffee?
Put it. Oh, can you get in here and put it over here? Alright. Yeah. This one will have the wingspan to do. Okay. Not too shabby. solid, man. Awesome. Yeah, I got a little more bolt than I needed. It's better than having too little, I guess. I don't think it needs to go down to 200 foot-pounds, so I really think that's enough. Alright, vacuum out all this sawdust. Drill dust, rather. More accurate. Put the drawers back, then we can vacuum this mess up. Alright, so I'm going to vacuum now. Or should I just snap my fingers and make it clean that way? I think I should just snap. I gotta open the door from the snap though. Ready? Oh yeah, it's always faster to snap than it is to vacuum. Alright, let's put these drawers back. Yeah, as you can see there, the only wire we can see at this point under the desk is the one coming down out of the air conditioner. And that's not related, so I'm not going to count that. Up here, we have a couple wires going up to the tower we could see. Maybe put some kind of cable management hooks or something on the cabinet. So I could pull them back down out of the way. I think that would help some. We got to adjust the monitors though, because they're sitting up too high. And see how stupid that looks? I mean, the window's facing the wall, and the tower. You know, I'm looking at the back of the tower. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's still a good looking case. It's got a nice finish on it, the Leon Lee case. But I have a better. I have one with the window in the right place coming. I won't call it a better case. It certainly has the windows in a different place, and it's going to be more RGB themed, so that'd be cool. Yeah, I like it. That's the same height, and then we got the monitors, so they're angled. I don't know that I like that. Well, I don't like them completely straight either. From a seated perspective, I think they'll be okay. Okay, the monitor's lit up. That's always nice. Always nice when the monitors actually light up. Let's put on. So we'll get the other cable. I'm going to leave it at that for now, with the cable management and everything. Because once the other case comes, then we'll have to deal with that. Yeah, I do miss being able to look through a window and see my parts. But I'll be rectifying that situation pretty soon. So in the next episode of Vern's Misadventures, we'll be recasing the computer, and it'll be getting it set up in the new case that's more appropriate for this layout. I think that's it for this one. I want to thank y'all for watching, and y'all take care, okay?